Chevrolet has finally revealed its redesigned 2026 NASCAR Cup Series car. No, really, that's it. After many months of anticipation and speculation and secrecy, Chevrolet has finally taken the wraps off of its redesigned 2026 NASCAR Cup Series car. And it turns out it's a redesigned version of the current NASCAR Cup Series car. The updated Camaro ZL1 gets some aerodynamic tweaks aimed at improving its downforce and keeping it more competitive with the Ford Mustang and Toyota Camry, which were redesigned last year. Since the Camaro went out of production in the 2024 model year, Chevy was kind of stuck with what it had, but it worked with NASCAR and the other teams to get the changes approved. The rules typically allow you to continue racing an out of production model as long as you want, as long as you don't change anything until a new production car comes out. But it looks like Chevrolet found a loophole to this. Just last week, it unveiled a new carbon performance package upgrade for the out of production Camaro ZL1. It's an aftermarket parts kit that adds a ZL1 1LE style splitter, new rocker extensions, a new spoiler, and a hood insert, all made of carbon fiber. And the changes made there have been reflected on the race car. So it's almost like they made an aftermarket parts kit for the Cup Series car. The price for the kit for the production car is $17,495. Although they also offer a Tech Bronze wheel upgrade that increases that to $21,375. While an updated version of the current Camaro was the most likely outcome for the 2026 car, it's definitely sure to disappoint a lot of fans. Some people were hoping they'd switch to the Corvette, although that would have been a little strange since that is a mid-engine car, while others were hoping they had a new car in the works. Corvette is the only car, let alone the only sports car, that Chevrolet makes right now. Camaro's been out of production for 2 years, and they have no announced plans for anything new. Executives have indicated they've been thinking about it, they just haven't been able to come up with a good plan for one. Whether it be a Camaro, a new Impala, a new Malibu, or even a new Chevelle. There was even some talk that they were going to use the front end from one of their crossover SUVs like the Blazer or the Equinox with the coupe body, but that really would have been strange. And there was no way Chevrolet can switch to a full crossover style body like the one used for the recent electric NASCAR prototype, unless everybody else made the same change. Just far too dramatic a difference from the current coupes. The new car has already been on the track. Hendrick Motorsports, 2311 Racing, and RFK Racing were at Bristol this week, testing out the new 750 horsepower short track package that NASCAR is going to be using next year. That's a bump from 670 horsepower on all tracks shorter than 1.5 miles, plus the road courses. The test was closed to the public, but the track did leave its blurry webcam on up in the rafters, and from there you could see that the Hendrick car was Alex Bowman's number 48, decked out in black with a big white Chevy bow tie on the side. They're also switching the Bristol cars to the short track aerodynamic package next year. It's been using the intermediate package in the recent seasons, and that was part of the test, along with checking out a variety of tires, because we know the tire situation at Bristol's been pretty crazy the last couple of seasons. And they're still trying to figure it out, especially now with the horsepower upgrade. There is one little thing we still don't know about the new Chevy, however. While the press release does refer to it as a Camaro ZL1, you might remember last year, they took the Camaro name off the outside of the car and replaced it with Chevrolet. Because since there are no new Camaros on sale, that real estate is better used to promote the brand. The only image they've released so far is one rendering showing the front of the car, although it does have the ZL1 badging on the grille. And if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you might already know that this isn't the only new Camaro NASCAR car that's going to be on the track in 2026. A few weeks ago, the NASCAR Brazil series, which is sanctioned by America's NASCAR, unveiled its sort of take on the next-gen car called the Rise 26. It's a completely different car, but it was designed with the same sort of intent to improve safety and performance and reduce costs. Driver's seats were moved closer to the center of the car. The cars are lighter. Since they race on a lot of road courses, they have easily removable front and rear subframes for repairs. And they've updated the bodies, which are now made of carbon fiber and no longer have doors that open. They're very much like American NASCAR cars in that way. And just like here, Ford fields a Mustang and Chevrolet a Camaro. Toyota doesn't race in this series. And for 2026, Chevrolet is sticking with a Camaro in Brazil. Used to actually sell the model there, but they were the ones made in the United States, so it's been discontinued in Brazil as well. And we're not sure yet if they're going to be offering that carbon performance package down there, but the race car does not feature that style. But back here in the US, I guess it's time to start thinking about what Chevrolet is going to be racing in NASCAR in 2027 and 2028. It's got to give the Camaro up at some point, right? Right? There is one glimmer of hope for Chevy fans who'd like to see a performance model in the lineup other than the Corvette, and it comes from Cadillac. That's because Cadillac just confirmed that while the current CT4 and CT5 sports sedans are going to be discontinued after 2026, there will be a new CT5 in 2027. And it's going to have an internal combustion engine, just like the current one. Cadillac's delayed its plans to go all electric, and while it is introducing a bunch of new EVs, it's going to be keeping those internal combustion engines around for a while. So what does this have to do with Chevrolet? Well, the CT5 is built at the Lansing Grand River Assembly Plant where the Camaro used to be built. And in fact, they share the same platform, which is a rear-wheel drive based platform that can also accommodate all-wheel drive, although only the Cadillacs have that. So it's hard to believe they're going to keep this assembly line going just to build the CT5. They sell a decent number of those, but not enough to justify that. So it would make sense that there is something else in the works. Now, they could have another Cadillac in the works instead of a CT4. Maybe they're going to bring the CT6 back. Or what would make more sense is a new Chevrolet. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Camaro reboot or even a two-door sports car reboot. In fact, four-doors sell better. Just look over at Dodge, where the Charger used to outsell the Challenger, which explains why the new Charger is available with 2 or 4 doors. So the possibility of bringing back the Impala, Malibu, or even the Chevelle nameplate is very real. And don't forget, what was the car that the Camaro replaced in the Cup Series for Chevrolet? It was a Chevrolet SS, which was a 4-door performance sedan. And that was a super low volume model. They just sold a couple of thousand of those a year. And believe it or not, one of them won a championship in 2025. Brendan Queen drove the Chevrolet SS to the ARCA Menards Series title, where they race hand-me-down cars. Which brings us back full circle to the updated Camaro, because does it really matter that Chevrolet doesn't make it anymore? I mean, you look at modifieds, you look at late models, those aren't real production cars. Cadillac's going into Formula One. They don't make a Formula One car for the street. They don't make a hypercar for the street, at least not yet. They probably should. A lot of time being in racing really is more about promoting the big brand, not the model. If you win on Sunday, not sure how many of the specific car that won on Sunday you sell on Monday anymore. I mean, the Ford Mustang's not exactly a huge seller these days. Camry, on the other hand, yeah, that's still pretty popular. But they don't make a 2-door Camry, let alone a rear-wheel drive one that's powered by a V8. So we'll just have to see how this works out for Chevrolet next year. But of course, we are getting one new NASCAR vehicle next year, which is the new Ram truck that's entering the Truck Series with Kaulig Racing. And if that goes well, they plan on following that up with a new Dodge in the Cup Series, which you can be sure is going to be that new Charger. So no controversies there. Well, I guess we're finally done with the new car news for the 2026 NASCAR season. There's always plenty of NASCAR news. So like this video, follow this channel, and check out American Cars and Racing Every Day for the latest.